Hello again, my lovely peaches. The verdict is in, and Hannah Gutierrez-Reed was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and not guilty of tampering, evidence tampering. So, if you saw the video that I put out today, you will know that I'm not happy with that verdict. And not only that, but she had been out on bond, and the judge said that she would be remanding her into custody. So she took off a necklace, and it was quite sad to see her being cuffed and taken away into custody. Her mom, I think it was her mom, was in the pews, shocked, looking devastated, understandably. So I'm not surprised that that's the verdict. As I said earlier in my video today, as much as I feel that she should be found not guilty, I had a strong feeling based on the 65-35 split in the polls that I've been seeing on Alita's channel and even on Emily's channel. Emily didn't say guilty, not guilty poll, but, things like, did the defense's closing sway you? And yes or no, So I had a strong sense that she was going to be found guilty. And from what Emily has said, there's a max sentence of 18 months. Now, the other thing was that, so she's going into custody. It is March 6th, 2024, and they were talking about when are they going to do sentencing. So first, the judge was talking about mid-May, and then Jason Bowles, the defense attorney, mentioned mid-April. So I was just watching Emily D. Baker, and then to my delight and surprise, Peter Tragos came on her channel. Then Alita came on her channel. Hogue joined the channel, and Runkle of the Bailey. So Peter left soon after Alita came on, but I watched the jury verdict on Emily D. Baker's channel. Then my favorites. So I actually have 3 lawyers that I subscribe to on YouTube, which are the only subscriptions I have, which are Emily, Peter, and Alita. So it was so amazing to have them all there and hear their opinions. So as I already knew, because of the lively debate that I had with attorney Bree, I knew that she thought that Hannah was guilty, and Emily seemed to think that the evidence justified the guilty verdict for the involuntary manslaughter. She thought that the tampering with evidence charge was garbage, which it was, and it was not guilty. And Peter seemed to think that it was that it was understandable. They all also said it did seem over the top extreme to have her remanded into custody. She's not a danger to society. She has been doing everything that she's supposed to. Her defense attorney, yet again, did not advocate for her as much as I feel that he could have. He was not prepared for the possibility that the verdict was going to return today and that she would be remanded, because it looked like he was reading on his phone, looking on his phone for some statute to say, well, how about not take her? And it was just sloppy and not prepared. And now she's literally in custody. So that's the conclusion of her trial. And I'm not surprised, but I do feel bad that, like I said, I feel that it would have been more appropriate to push back on the industry to send a message that the lack of standards in the industry is the problem. Yes, she needed to do her job. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I had a feeling that it was going to go that way. I did not expect them to take her into custody today. I did think that she would be, able to stay out on bond until her sentencing hearing, and that possibly it would be parole. And she may get parole. She may get time served and parole, but she will have to sit in jail for about a month now. And I don't know if Helena's son and widower and loved ones, parents, whoever, siblings, whoever she has that love her, I don't know if they believe that that's a just outcome. And maybe there will be some impact statements during her sentencing trial, and then we'll get to find out what they think about this. And I do feel that the fact that she was found guilty, well, it may or may not impact the outcome for Alec Baldwin. And personally, I feel that considering that he was first the producer and also someone who has been in movies with guns for decades, that his culpability is higher, and also he was the one who shot the gun or had his finger on the trigger when it went off, and whether or not he should do jail time, I don't know. I'll listen to that trial. Emily D. Baker is going to stream it, and Alita's going to stream it, and probably Peter will stream it. So I will be very interested in that, but that's not until July. So I just wanted to do a follow-up and say, wah, wah. That was disappointing, but not surprising. And it is sad. It's sad that a young mother and wife, a director who was filled with life and vibrancy, was taken from this world prematurely and truly unnecessarily. It just should not have ever happened. It should not have even been a possibility. Yet at the same time, when you play with guns, death is a possibility. So ultimately, the jury decided that Hannah was responsible and that she was not doing her job. And there was a jury interview, and he said he worked in a nuclear plant, and he's also got his CDL license. So safety is deeply part of his job, and so he had that perspective. And again, I do feel that there was culpability on her part. I just also feel that there should have been better quality and safety standards all around her, and that the industry should be held more accountable, and the production of Rust should be held more accountable. And that is just not how it went. So it is what it is. The verdict is in. She was remanded to jail. Her sentencing trial might be in April. Alec Baldwin's trial might be in July. And the next video that I make might be the next 30 minutes. So I did Wendy Adelson's police interview, the first 37 minutes. So the next video I was planning on working on is the next 30 minutes of that. And I am planning, so the way I did it on the other video, let me set the mood. By the way, it is raining. This is jasmine. So light an incense for the memory of Helena Hutchins and the sadness of the tragedy. And light one for the sadness of Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. In my opinion, I think it's sad. So just to finish what I was saying about the next video I'm working on regarding Wendy Adelson. So the video that I made reading the transcript of the first 37 minutes of Wendy's police interview, I really had wanted to show the words of what I was reading and then also overlay the video. But because of my limited laptop and so forth, there was just no way that I was going to be able to overlay that many things and have the video actually saved. Plus, it's like 3 hours and 15 minutes video. But this time I decided that I'm going to do it a little differently, and I am going to do the part where I burned the captions onto the video itself, which I then shared at the end of that part one. I'm going to try, I'm not exactly sure I'm going to figure it out, but I'm going to try to just do the video where I'm reading so that you can see it. And I think that that will be more interesting. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. Maybe the video will come out in the next week or so and it'll make sense and it's all good. So I guess that's it for now regarding Rust, and I will do some updates and I'll see about following along when Alex's trial starts. So I'm guessing that about 65 to 70% of people who did watch this trial probably feel that it was appropriate to say that she was guilty, to convict her as guilty for involuntary manslaughter. I am curious, what do you think about her being remanded today to custody? And do you think that that was appropriate? Do you think, like one of the wonderful lawyers in that video that I watched, which you should go watch on Emily's channel today, which is March 6th, 2024. I just remembered it's somebody's birthday. And one of the lawyers had said, I don't understand why they didn't suggest all kinds of things, like how about she doesn't leave the state? How about she doesn't even leave the city? How about you put an ankle monitor on her? Like, there's so many things. How about she check in? Like, that's what Runkle was saying, that he would have had been prepared the night before for just in case. He said if he knew he was going to be done today, just in case there was a quick verdict, which there was, and that happened to be guilty, which it was, be prepared with a proposal to the judge about, let's not take her into custody, because from what Emily said, now that she's in custody, there's no bond. There's no bonding out. There's no getting out of jail now that she's been convicted and she lost the right that she had, that she was out on bond. So she will be doing an appeal. But there was another thing they said. The maximum sentence she could get would be 18 months. So appeals usually take longer than that. And it just seems such, I honestly, I genuinely, I really did not care for this judge. I feel, the judge did a decent job, but I think I would give it like 2.5 out of 5, maybe, maybe I'd give her like a 4 out of 10. Like, she wasn't absolute garbage, but at the same time, I feel like there were so many ways that she could have had a better control of the of the lawyers in the first place, and then going to the extreme where they weren't allowed to object without having to have a sidebar every time. And I feel like I just feel like there was so much crap. And like Emily pointed out, so many times where there was an improper objection, or there was like kind of an objection, it was so casual, and then she never even ruled on it, and it's just like, what the heck? It was so messy. It was so unprofessional. It felt unprofessional, and I don't think that Jason Bowles had any passion or energy. He just seemed so meh. And then he went against Carrie Morrissey, who had all the frickin' fire. Too much. She was goddamn annoying and rude and irritating and overreaching. But, you know, I was saying to my son earlier this morning, before closing arguments even finished, if I was on the jury and I was kind of tapped out, let's say, and a lot of the testimony was boring and drawn out and droll, dry, you know, if I wasn't really like invested in listening and I just kind of went off vibes, I'd say, well, that lawyer, Morrissey, she seems real pissed and she seems really sure and like she's certain, and this other dude is like barely awake. Does he have a pulse? He's like, he's not objecting, he's not impeaching, he's not following through. Does he even care? Why is he putting on witnesses? It's like he's like winning for Carrie. Like, what the heck? So if I wasn't paying close attention, I would absolutely be like, well, she must have been right, because I don't know. The other guy was just like checked out. And, you know, if you think that Hannah was accountable, and regardless of all the walls and chaos falling around her, that ultimately she should have looked at each and every bullet, I mean, that's not unbelievably unreasonable. And the fact is that even if she gets the maximum sentence in prison, I don't know if it's prison or jail, but if she gets the full 18 months, then her life is far from over. She'll be like 26 years old or something. She's got a lot of life ahead of her. And, you know, probably not ever as an armorer again. And maybe she will, like I said in my other video, maybe she will learn how to, I don't know if somebody said, I thought I saw in a comment, as a convicted felon, does that mean she can never touch a gun ever again? I don't know. So I don't know if she's completely out of guns, but I'm sure she's got other interests in life that she can start to develop, and hopefully wherever she does go is not a really hard place or a bad place, and she doesn't end up getting abused. I mean, I do think that going to jail, you are getting abused. Like, Christina Randall has a channel where she talks about her experience, and oh my God, it just sounds so awful. And if that's where she's going, it does feel extremely unjustified to me, and I really don't believe that it's fair or right, but it is what it is. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.